Hi, I'm Courtney, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about cognitive dissonance, a theory developed by Leon Festinger in 1956.
Here's your mail.
Thanks. You'll have to excuse some external noises. My friend was just fired from her job today, so she's home a little earlier than expected, but I got to get this project done. So she gets a little cranky. You know, I always said I'd never have a roommate, but she needed a place to stay, and she's my brother's girlfriend, so I don't mind helping her out. Anyway, cognitive dissonance. The development of this theory all started with this extremist doomsday cult that believed the world was about to end by an alien attack. Leon Festinger actually joined this cult, not telling him who he was, obviously, and then he studied the reactions of the members when the world did not actually end on the day they thought it would. Some of the less involved cult members just kind of chalked it up to life lessons, but the ones that were more deeply involved rationalized that the world did not end because the aliens spared the earth to spare the cult. In order to not feel completely stupid, since many of them sold their homes, quit their jobs, and abandoned their families, the members had to change their beliefs to fit the circumstances. And this is cognitive dissonance. It's the moral dilemma, your inner turmoil, the stuff that keeps you up at night. So let's break that down.
Courtney, there's so many dishes in here. Why haven't you done them?
I'm pretty sure it's your turn.
Gross. You know I don't do dishes. Can you just do them?
Yeah, Jessica, I guess so. She's going through a hard time, so it's okay, really. It's no biggie. Okay, so back to the theory. Let's break this down. Dissonance basically means a disagreement, especially in one's own beliefs. Cognitive means something involves conscious, intelligent activity or can be reduced to facts. So say you see that package of double stuffed Oreos sitting on your counter. In your mind, you know it's a terrible idea to eat an entire row of cookies, even though they're so delicious and they're chocolatey, creamy, and this is a cognition. You might decide just to have a couple, but before you know it, you're covered in black crumbs and half the package is gone, and oh my god, what did I just do? And there's the dissonance. Holy crap, I just started this diet and now I've consumed almost an entire day's worth of calories in 5 minutes. That's another cognition that now creates dissonance with the previous cognition that eating so many cookies will be bad for you. Then you sit there in shame for a minute, and you try to console yourself. Well, I did skip breakfast, and I can eat celery for dinner, and I can do like 500 crunches before bed, and I'm okay. Everything's good. See, we're compelled to resolve the dissonance in our minds so that we can feel better about the things we are doing that might not match up with our values, which is a little more cognition.
Hey, a bunch of people from my mud wrestling team are about to be here. You had your mom over last week, so it's just fair. Also, I told them we'd have food. Can you make some spaghetti? I'll pay you back when I get my check.
Yeah, I guess. Just let me finish my video. You know, I don't normally let her boss me around like that, but I like to cook, so it's whatever, and spaghetti's pretty cheap. She said she has this big check coming soon from some modeling she did last month, and she says she's keeping track of all the money I've been loaning her, so really it's okay, right? Okay, so back to cognitive dissonance. It's all pretty simple. You do something that goes against what you know to be right, and this can be different for every person. Like, I think stealing is wrong, so if I accidentally walk out of a store with an item, I might experience cognitive dissonance if I decide not to bring it back. Whereas someone else might just think, oh, hey, a free ham, or oh, cool, free bunny slippers, or whatever the item might be. So the same scenarios do not always create cognitive dissonance in every person. The real depth of the theory is not simply that we experience the dissonance between our values and actions, but that we feel the need to resolve the dissonance. So...
Hey, do you have anything to eat? I'm starving.
Well, I just went grocery shopping, but...
Well, gee dang it. That's pretty neat.
Alright. Well, that's my brother. He has a tendency to kind of eat all the food, and I hate having to spend so much on groceries, but I'm his big sister, so that's what I'm supposed to do. To continue. According to researchers, cognitive dissonance theory is based on 3 things. The first is that people are aware of the moment their beliefs are coming into question or are being challenged by their actions. People experience this type of dissonance in thought all the time. The level might vary, or we might be acting in the moment and then reflect on it later. But there is something within us that acknowledges the action. The second component, of the theory is that once we recognize the dissonance, we'll want to find some way to resolve it. We don't like this negative feeling of guilt. It's like being hungry or thirsty, as some researchers put it, so we need to address the issue until there's a balance. The third piece of the theory of cognitive dissonance is that the resolution of the dissonance will come in 3 ways. So one of these ways is to change your perception of the action. This probably is the most common resolution tactic, but the hardest to identify. We simply rationalize the action that we thought was wrong, and then it doesn't seem so bad. Like, say you cheated on your boyfriend, but then you decide he's really a nag and has let himself go. And that guy at the grocery store is really sweet, and he always asks you about your day, and he compliments your hair. And all your boyfriend does is sit on the computer all day playing World of Warcraft and eating Cheetos and wiping them on your couch cushions. And the grocery store guy, well, he's just gorgeous. And when he carries your bags to the car, his biceps really test the fabric of the green polo he wears, and well, you get the point.
Hey, can you get that? It's one of my buyers.
What? My roommate has been selling cell phones lately. She said she gets them from a supplier she met at a business convention. I'm not so sure about it, but I don't get involved because it's really none of my business, and I wouldn't want her questioning my life. So I just let it go. I mean, I'm sure it's legit. Still working on my project. You're going to have to get it. Sorry.
Oh, fine.
Okay, so where were we? Oh, yeah, okay. So there are 3 ways that we address the dissonance, the first being rationalization, and the second way people tend to balance the dissonance is to change their beliefs. Now, this doesn't mean that a Christian who finds herself committing what her religion considers to be a sin will suddenly become an atheist. She might decide, though, that the sin is not really directly addressed in the Bible, so maybe it really isn't that big of a deal. Or she might decide that the Old Testament only applies to Jewish people, as many people do say. A cheater might watch Animal Planet and discover that most animals weren't designed to be in monogamous relationships, and, well, we wouldn't want to mess with nature, so it's not it's not her fault that she became interested in someone else. It's science. So, okay, so the third... Hey, I'm still working on my project. Can you turn that down?
Oh, yeah. It's like you think you own this place.
Well, I do pay the bills. And normally she has her music on until she goes to bed. She listens to that, like, heavy screaming stuff. And I used to hate it, but I don't know. It's sort of a cool sound, and, like, it's good for working out or whatever she's doing back there. Yeah, working out with my brother. Anyway, the third way we resolve our cognitive dissonance is to change our actions. We have all done this one. It's the I swear I won't ever do that again moment. The guilt is just too much to handle. If we promise ourselves to never act in the same way again, we can view it as the first time learning experience.
Hey, Courtney?
1 second, I'm almost done with this video. So an example of changing our future actions would be, please hold on. So one way that someone might change their actions...
Courtney!
What?
Yeah. You know that bracelet you had on the edge of your sink?
My grandmother's gold tennis bracelet or the friendship bracelet you made me out of your old sweater?
The gold one. It fell down the drain. Don't be mad. I'm sure we can get it out and...
You... What? I will be right there. So an example of changing your actions to resolve cognitive dissonance would be if you tried to be a nice person and let your brother's deadbeat girlfriend move in with you against your better judgment, since you had to bail her out of jail just to get her to help you pack the U-Haul. But you do it anyway because your brother really likes her. And then turns out she doesn't have a job, and she certainly is no model despite what she tells you. But no, kicking her out would be mean. So you just put up with it until she drops your dead grandmother's gold tennis bracelet down the drain, and you realize that you have been resolving your cognitive dissonance over the situation for 3 months now, and your final resolution will be to never, have another roommate again and kick this one out on her sorry behind. Cognitive dissonance. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a sorry behind to kick.